The Landman Season 3 trailer carries a very different kind of energy compared to what we've seen before. There's no sense of momentum or victory here. If anything, it feels like the characters are moving forward while already knowing they're going to lose something important along the way. The tone is subdued, almost reflective, but underneath that calm surface, there's a constant tension that never really lets go. You can feel it in the way moments linger a little longer than they should, in the way conversations seem unfinished, like people are holding back what they really want to say. It creates this quiet sense of dread that builds without needing big dramatic moments. Tommy, in particular, feels different. Not broken, but definitely worn down. The trailer doesn't show him as someone chasing control anymore. Instead, it presents him as someone reacting to things slipping out of his hands. That shift is subtle, but it changes everything. In previous seasons, even when things got messy, there was always a sense that he was one step ahead, or at least capable of catching up. Now, it feels like he's constantly trying to keep up with consequences that are already unfolding. His new company, which once looked like a fresh start, now feels more like a risk that's slowly turning into a burden. What makes this even more unsettling is how the trailer frames his relationships. There's distance where there used to be tension. And that's not a good sign. Tension means there's still something to fight for. Distance usually means that fight is already being lost. The emotional gap between him and the people around him feels wider, even in moments where they're physically together. It's like everyone is dealing with their own version of the same problem, but no one is actually connecting anymore. That isolation adds to the sadness the trailer carries throughout. And then there's Cammy. Her presence in the trailer feels quieter, but also more significant. She doesn't come across as someone trying to fix things anymore. Instead, she feels like someone who is finally starting to accept that not everything can be saved. That kind of shift can be more devastating than anger or desperation. Because once a character reaches that point, their decisions tend to come from a place of letting go rather than holding on. And that can lead to outcomes that are far more permanent. What stands out the most is how the trailer doesn't give clear answers. It avoids showing direct conflict or obvious turning points. Instead, it focuses on emotional weight. Small moments, brief exchanges, and expressions that hint at something deeper going on beneath the surface. It trusts the audience to feel that something is wrong without spelling it out. And that approach makes everything feel more real, because it mirrors how things fall apart in reality. Not all at once, but slowly, quietly, and often without warning. Even the way the story seems to be unfolding suggests that this season won't be about building something new. It feels more like dealing with what's already been set in motion. The choices made in the past are starting to catch up, and there's a sense that no matter what the characters do now, they won't be able to fully escape those consequences. That inevitability is what gives the trailer its emotional weight. It's not about what might happen. It's about what's already too late to stop. The second section of the trailer leans even deeper into that feeling of something slowly falling apart, but what makes it truly unsettling is how controlled everything looks on the surface. Nothing appears chaotic at first glance. The business is running, deals are still being made, and the structure Tommy helped build is technically holding together. But the more you pay attention, the more it starts to feel like that stability is just an illusion. Like everything is being held in place by people who are already starting to doubt whether it can last. Tommy's position inside his own company is one of the clearest signs of that shift. He may still have influence, but it doesn't feel absolute anymore. There's a growing sense that the people around him are beginning to make decisions without fully relying on him. Not out of betrayal, but out of necessity. And that's what makes it worse. It's not a dramatic power struggle. It's a quiet transition where control slowly slips away, piece by piece, until one day it's just gone. The trailer hints at this through small interactions, moments where Tommy seems slightly out of sync with the direction things are heading. Cooper's role becomes more complicated as well. Stepping into a leadership position was always going to come with pressure, but now it feels like that pressure is turning into something heavier. There's an emotional weight to him that wasn't as visible before. He's not just trying to prove himself anymore. He's trying to hold everything together while dealing with problems that don't have clear solutions. And the trailer subtly suggests that he might be reaching a point where he has to make a decision that could define not just his future, but everyone else's. The kind of decision where no matter what he chooses, something important gets lost. At the same time, the external threats that were only hinted at before now feel much closer. There's a presence in the background that the trailer never fully reveals, but it's clearly there. The same forces that tried to take Cooper down haven't disappeared. If anything, they seem more patient now, more calculated. Instead of direct confrontation, it feels like they're waiting for the right moment to apply pressure in a way that can't be easily fought back against. That kind of danger is far more difficult to deal with because it doesn't give the characters a clear target. Cammy's storyline continues to carry a different kind of emotional weight. Her journey in this part of the trailer feels less about conflict with others and more about conflict within herself. There's a sense that she's standing at a crossroads, but neither path leads to something she truly wants. Moving on means letting go of everything she's been holding on to, while staying means continuing to fight a battle that may already be lost. The trailer doesn't show her making a clear choice, but it does suggest that whatever she decides will come with consequences she can't undo. What makes her situation even more impactful is how it connects back to Tommy. There's still an unspoken link between them, but it doesn't feel like something that will bring them together in a positive way. If anything, it feels like their paths are heading toward a point where they'll have to face each other again, not as allies, but as people who made different choices at the worst possible time. And that kind of confrontation isn't just about business or strategy. It's personal, and that's what makes it unpredictable. The relationships across the board start to feel more fragile in this section of the trailer. Even the ones that seemed strong before now carry a sense of uncertainty. Conversations feel shorter, more careful. There's less honesty, more hesitation. It's like everyone is aware that something is changing, but no one knows how to address it without making things worse. That silence between characters becomes one of the most powerful elements in the trailer, because it says more than any direct conflict could. And through all of this, the pacing of the trailer remains steady, almost calm. It never rushes, never overwhelms. It just lets each moment settle, giving the audience time to feel the weight of what's happening. That restraint is what makes everything hit harder. Because instead of forcing emotion, it allows it to build naturally. And by the time this section comes to an end, it becomes clear that whatever is coming next won't be sudden. It will be the result of everything slowly coming undone.